All right, welcome to another chaotic lockdown podcast, continuing to pick apart Raw and SmackDown, and we are T minus 13 days to WrestleMania with a card that is like half full at this point. Very disappointing from my point of view that we are literally 2 weeks to the show of shows and we have half a card. But yeah, it's very disappointing. Um, so so essentially we have half a card filled out for WrestleMania that's 2 weeks away. And I know we talked about last week about, them having these 2 weeks to prep us for those. So we are 1 week down from that. So this week better get us some fast tracked matches for WrestleMania. Whether it's multi-man matches for the men's United States or the men's IC or the women's IC and the women's United States. Something has to show up. Um, Kevin Owens' match basically got dipped, so now we don't get to see that happen, which I mean didn't really damage the card too much. It was already kind of Um,
It just pretty much opened up another spot for some newer talent or whatever to get more of a spotlight now.
Yeah, you're
well,
right, Tim.
yeah, and
That's if
but
WWE actually does anything with it. If they do, if they don't, they're pretty freaking stupid.
yeah, I mean, but like the thing is like the card was already minuscule at best, anyways. So like it doesn't quite damage it just because we know we're gonna get those like 3 to 4 matches that are kind of like could have been a main event of like Raw or SmackDown, but they have to fill the WrestleMania card, so we're gonna kind of get those couple matches that are kind of I'm gonna go take a shit kind of situation like so um but I mean we'll wait and see. I mean we could get some more build this week on Raw and SmackDown, just because there is still the lingering, the IC title and United States. So I mean, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, we get maybe a return or something and saying, "Hey, I want to fight so and so," because we still have Becky Lynch that's not quite returned. Asuka is still in the balance of possibly returning. So I mean, we still have some people that could show up before WrestleMania and be like, "Hey, I want this match with you," or whatever. And so it might be fast track, but it could also be long-term story booking. And we're gonna get that, leading into WrestleMania, hopefully. So,
Right.
but so Raw once again starts off with Cody and John Cena that it's like the same promo back and forth with those guys for the better part of 3 weeks now. I'm it's I don't know. It's not very entertaining. It's John Cena trying to be heel and basically holding a grumpy face for 20 minutes while doing a segment between him and Cody. Um I like that Cody kind of dropped, a Vinnie Mac reference. I thought that was funny, because he's like, "Oh, the fans chose me, but you were chose by a guy that we don't like to talk about anymore." And so I thought it was a very subtle stab at previous regime. Um,
I like how he just said he had more dick in his promo than he did in his little shorts.
and his jorts, we got to be specific. His jorts.
It's George.
His jean shorts.
Well,
And he must have a lot of those because I feel like it's the same like pattern on the back pocket, and he's like going on like telling the people in the back. He's like, "Hey, I need like 20 pairs of the same jorts, so in case some rip or something or get damaged in any way, I have a backup." Because he's been rocking the same jorts for probably 10 years. So
Pretty much.
yeah.
I still remember when he had the pumps, the shoes.
Oh,
You know,
he would do some weird hand thing, and then he would bend over and pump him
He'd
up.
bend over and pump him up. Or he could
Oh.
do his little.
yeah, it's gonna be interesting because like for this match, I want Cody to lose, but I don't want John Cena to win. And so like, it's a very troublesome like scenario that's kind of happening. But so we get the Tyler Bate, returns from his injury to basically get back with uh Pete Dunne and the New Kite Republic. I thought they would have him return and have them take a W, but they take an L to the New Day, which I'm not mad about. Like, I'm not happy about it, but like kind of how they've been pushing the New Day, the new entrance music, the new attitude of the New Day, or they call them the New Day. Um, I hope they do something with them. Um, being that they are, I think it was like between all of them, I think is like 14 or something tag team championships between the three of them, the original three.
Right.
So, I mean, it's definitely a Hall of Fame tag team that will go into the Hall of Fame eventually, along with the Usos. So, so apparently our Hall of Fame card's full. So nothing else. We're not getting anything else. It's this Triple H, Michelle McCool, Lex Luger, and that Destroyers or
Natural
whatever they were called.
disaster.
Natural
Natural,
disasters. And
yeah.
so and then we have the new whatever Hall of Fame moment or something. So that's basically we're done with the Hall of Fame card, which it's decent. I really never heard much of the natural disasters.
I think once you see them, you'll like, oh, I remember those two. Yeah, once you see them, you'll like.
I think
They
it
were
was before.
like,
I think it was before my real attentive time.
you know,
Yeah,
one of them.
I'm
One of them had a stint in WCW, and he was supposed to do a spot where he comes crashing through a wall, and he falls through the wall. That's it. That's the end of the story.
it was a good one.
It was such a good story.
So WWE has for years done these cutting things, and then they switched to a blood capsule. During the Gunther and Jimmy Uso match, Jimmy does get caught by a fan razoring, and it was gruesome as hell because it wasn't a blood capsule.
That was
And the
pretty
fact
bloody.
the fact that
Yeah.
Gunther was rubbing it all over his body like freaking war paint.
Yeah.
Little freaking twisted.
And he did take some of the blood and licked his finger with it.
Yeah.
Then spit.
It was a little bit too much. Like, if we're gonna segue into kind of, having these blood spots, like, damn, that's a little like 0 to 60.
So they, obviously getting caught blading is kind of like, with the age of cell phones, it's gonna happen. But the reason why they like obviously blade in the forehead is because it's there's less flesh here in the top of your forehead. So if you get yourself really good, like right in this area, you're gonna like bleed profusely, and it's gonna make it look more dramatic and all the other theatrics. I think we should probably just stop blading. I mean, it I understand why they did that theatric, and it makes the match more intense between Jay and Gunther. Yeah, and being a heel, right? So I get it, but like you're saying, it's kind of like, it looked a bit much, but you also can tell the difference between a blood capsule and actual blood because, well, it does not, a blood dries differently than a blood capsule. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah.
It actually kind of looks almost like paint, after a while. But with blood, it starts to dry up, it starts to turn bluish, and it looks more like what happened to
Yeah,
you, bro?
it's more believable. It's just
Yeah.
like for me, like I know they are kind of branching into the era of a little bit not so PG-ish anymore, but like it was just too much. And I know we've had a couple blood spots in the last couple months, but like I thought this was a little bit too gruesome. Um, but I mean it's whatever. I mean it's a nice believable situation where like I mean he literally choked his ass out and all that nonsense. Um, but I mean we'll move on, I guess. I mean it's weird for me, but so Penta has not lost. He's not been pinned in a singles match. I th- at least without outside interference.
Right.
So Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio defeat Braun Breaker and Penta via pinfall. Not very believable, but obviously I feel like this is a segue to having a triple threat or a fatal four-way match for the IC, just because there's been a lot of moving parts
Mhm.
in regards to the number one contender matches, having issues, interference, so on and so forth. Finn's definitely going to go after that. I really thought Sheamus would be in this picture for WrestleMania, but we haven't seen him in months. I don't know what the situation is. There hasn't been much released about it. We just haven't seen him. And
This
I
is
really,
sad.
and I,
I
go
don't
ahead.
think he's out hurt because he's been doing a lot of his workout videos on his YouTube channel a lot.
It
He just
it
had
could just
one this
yeah,
just had one like not that long ago with CM Punk.
yeah. It
I
could
just,
just be like they don't have any work for him. They don't have any booking for him. They don't want to release him. He's just, chilling,
but like, but my thing is that the reason why I want him to be back is because I want him to finish his uh what are they
Grand Slam
Grand Slam.
championship.
I want him to finish his Grand Slam at the show of shows.
Me too.
Mhm.
Like because they've thwarted him from that title for at least 5 to 8 years. So like I would think it would be the ultimate respect to have him win because I mean, what other place is there for you to win that at other than WrestleMania? So
I
I
mean,
hope he comes back. I hope they end up with a, maybe a fatal four-way, maybe a six-pack ladder match. They have to have something to add some shock and awe and ooh and ah to
yeah,
WrestleMania because they don't have any there's no like direct no DQ other than like the obvious triple threat with Roman, Seth, and CM Punk obviously is essentially a DQ, but like this match card looks pretty bland. And so they need one match or two matches like they've had in the past with those big six-pack ladder matches. They need that shock and awe moment at WrestleMania. And I really hope they six-pack challenge this for a ladder match for the IC and Sheamus
um,
wins.
that could happen like as a last minute like scramble thing, but I don't think it's necessary for Sheamus to win it at WrestleMania as much as it is necessary, in my opinion, for Sheamus to actually win it. Whether you know whether it's at another PLE or whether it's at like a really great Monday Night Raw, if when he wins it, it'll mean something. Yeah, having him at WrestleMania and doing it there is just like icing on the cake. But just having him do it, I think, is more important than what PLE he does it at. And as far as the card is concerned, like we've got enough time for them to throw everything at us, this week and next week. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I just there has to be a shock and awe moment for WrestleMania because I feel like there's been a ladder match at WrestleMania for the better part of the last 4 or 5 years. So and right now with the card as it is, it's a whole lot of singles matches, and there needs to be more multi-man matches just because the more people they can get exposed on WrestleMania, the better. The more happy your backstage people are going to be. The more the superstars will be happy even just to get a spot on WrestleMania. And I know that's a big thing for a lot of people. And where right now as it stands, we don't have Sami Zayn hasn't been seen in a couple months, maybe a month or so.
I think it's
Again,
been
Sheamus
2
hasn't
months.
been, Sheamus hasn't been around. We don't know the situation with Drew McIntyre right now with getting a little bit of glass in his eye. So like they're gonna have to really scramble. And if they scramble together some good matches, I'll be okay. But I really think this year they've really done a very poor job at building to WrestleMania matches. We'll get to that in a little bit. But so AJ Styles basically calls out Logan Paul, challenges him to a match at WrestleMania. And this is one of those like it could be in the middle of the card. And there's no real true build to this match. Logan
Maybe be the
Paul
first match.
I mean, I wouldn't even want to kick off the show. Like, you better have a better match. I feel like the first and the last ones are the best, and everything else in between is kind of filler because you want to kick off the night right. So,
yeah.
but
I would agree.
so we might be getting that match now. Now on Raw, so we had a rematch between Rhea and Io Sky for the title, refed by one Bianca Belair that I thought honestly was just terrible. This match was terrible. The referee attempt was terrible. This whole I'm done, I quit, I can't deal with this. Like it was just poor. And being the main event of Raw and having it basically Bianca bitch out and you can't. I want to disqualify them both. Yeah, and then it's the main event and it's a rematch. Like, do your job and call it down the line. Like you were aggressively pushing both people, but then you got too aggressive, and then you wondered why you got any kind of snapback from Io and Rhea. Like they were both getting frustrated with you because you didn't know how to do your damn job. I've never
Was it not doing her job, or was it the fact that she didn't want either one of them to get an advantage going into the match? So
Yeah.
she played a role of like trying to frustrate both of them. So I mean, it could be taken either ways. I would say that I felt that the match could be considered clunky in the sense of everything just kind of like, is this what we're supposed to do, or should we do it this way?
It just was. It was
It
very
just didn't come off.
unorganized.
Yeah, it didn't come off like amazing.
And it
Um,
was just very disorganized. And I really think that tomorrow we're definitely going to get some kind of insight into this match. I think Rhea will kick off the show and be pissed, and I really think honestly we will get a triple threat. I know it's not ideal for winning the Royal Rumble and everything else and getting your match, but like I'm not. They have to fix this match. Period. But so SmackDown kicks off obviously with CM Punk doing the same shit. CM Punk, isn't it a great day to be alive? And like he's his promos are as basic as Cody Rhodes.
Tim, your comment?
Come
Well,
on,
I'm okay with his promos.
but they're the same. They're the same thing on repeat.
Hey,
Like,
pretty much every other buddy's freaking things a repeat.
see,
Just like
when-
just like Drew McIntyre's his
Oh,
promos are usually the
yes.
same shit. And it's always bitching, moaning, crying like a little bitch that he is. I'm glad he
Oh.
I'm glad he has the little.
I-
his
I-
little,
I- you know
pirate
what? I
eye
just-
patch.
I just wanted to play heel right then and there. That's it.
oh,
I'm done with it. I'm done.
because we could have got away with this last week when Tim wasn't here, but we will not get away with it.
I'm just saying, his promos every week is him bitching and crying, man. He said
I didn't
he's
say
got a
his. I
period.
didn't say his weren't. I just thought like he comes
I'd
out.
rather
and-
listen to CM Punk's promos over somebody bitching and crying.
But he had
Look.
glass in his eye, and it was real glass.
Get a little eye patch on. Get dust off.
Oh
goodness.
man.
So,
the
This
big
is
one
just-
Danny.
in case people wondering, I know Tim was going to defend CM
Mhm.
Punk.
Oh, and I had
viciously,
to, and I had to.
Seth was going to be like, but it's CM Punk, and I just wanted a few laughs. That's it. That's all. Because Tim, you love CM Punk, and
Ugh,
he's a draw,
I
right?
love Michael Cole.
And tonight, Seth loves Michael Cole. I
The
love our
voice.
truth, and he's not even on the card, and I should be upset about that. Our truth for champion, but I digress. So that little banter is why I enjoy this podcast with you
So
guys.
I digress. We will move past this situation. so we finally get the signing of Ray Phoenix, who has a match with an NXT star. Like, I thought they could have had a better filmy in, but hey, Ray Phoenix is in WWE now. I'm happy about that. The more luchas we get, the better the product will be. I like that they are definitely starting to fill up with luchadors in WWE. I love it. It's great for everyone because they are way more athletic than probably half of the roster in WWE. They might not be the strongest, but they are insanely athletic, and I love it. So, poor Nathan Frazier obviously gets the L, but I'm like, you're gonna get the L. I mean, it's Ray.
But he's also
Phoenix.
going to get some wins. I mean, I think he's one of the longest reigning tag teams in NXT. So I think it's a really great matchup. Someone had to take the L in that, and if they want to push Ray Phoenix, like they're doing his brother, obviously, the other
I
guy is
mean,
going.
they could have brought James Ellsworth back.
You know what? He's got a
No.
couple. He's got a couple of asterisks by his name, so probably not.
Bring back the
But-
no chin, man.
You know what? I don't mind.
The no chin champion, man.
No
Oh.
chin. Yep. But
I do enjoy listening to him when he goes live on TikTok.
oh my goodness, I'm surprised
He's
anybody.
he's always sitting in his living room on the couch, watching some wrestling or some type of crap.
Oh. Have you heard the theories that green shirt guy is just James Ellsworth? Like
my goodness.
they look very comparable. It's like James Ellsworth with a goatee.
Wow.
Like
Um,
let that sink in, because now you're gonna Google it and you're gonna look at him. You're like, hold on a second. Green shirt guy could be James Ellsworth with a soul patch.
I don't know that dude, that green dude with the green shirt, man. That dude's gotta have some money, or he just
You know what?
has some type of ties with the WWE.
He does
You know,
OF.
I am. Shoot. I don't know how he has that ability, but yeah, he's got to have. We need to investigate what green shirt guy does,
Boom, boom,
It's
boom,
just,
boom, 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 boom,
yeah.
bow,
He,
bow,
he
bow.
they did. I watched. Did an interview with him. Somebody was asking him how he gets so lucky with his seats. He just says he just gets lucky and gets them when they're on
I don't
sale right at the moment.
I don't buy that for a
I'm like,
second.
I went off.
It's like
I'm
it's
like,
like
no,
it's like
he
the
had.
same
He's
well,
got to
because this
have
is
shares with the
yeah.
WWE.
It's the same thing with that was when it was like the jean shirt and red hat guy. Because
Oh, the sign guy.
yeah, because we've seen him when we were in Texas. You've seen him
Yeah,
there. I
he
think
was at the NXT show.
yeah. So
I seen him there, and I seen him once at the Van Andel.
yeah, I haven't seen him since, but
So according to a Wikipedia, not Wikipedia, I'm sorry, a Reddit.com post, from 3 months ago, the story of Green Shirt Guy that attends almost every WWE show. His name is Simon, but also known as Smiley, not to be confused with Norman Smiley. He actually gets free tickets from a relative of his who is a WWE official. And here's a fun fact: he's been to every single WrestleMania besides 36, of course, because 36 would have been that's pandemic. So yeah, it was probably on lockdown. Nobody was there. Yeah, because it was taped, right?
well,
Yeah. Outside
36.
of that,
That's 5 ago. So then yeah, it'd been 2020. So
yeah.
yeah, because
Um
2021 they had it at Raymond James with a minimal fan base, and then we got to go to the first one that was right after. So
yeah.
yeah, that
So
sounds right.
yeah.
But I
But
did like I did like the shirts that said that I wasn't there. Like when you see the shirts that said I was there, and they were selling shirts that I wasn't there at WrestleMania 36. Oh
yeah.
yeah, but so LA Knight is basically on a tangent, and I don't I like that they are continuing to workhorse these titles. Defeating Tamatonga, obviously, no harm, no foul for Tamatonga. But so let's get to why my hashtag is the way it is. So Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte have a face-off moment, and it was honestly so terrible. The fans were booing, not wooing, and Charlotte Flair could not even. She
She
looked
couldn't
like
even get a word out.
it was like her trying to continue to give the same promo over and over again, and she absolutely failed at it. And Tiffany Stratton she won this with ease. And at the end of it, it is the part that was edited by WWE just because it went real and shit got real. And so basically Tiffany Stratton goes off on Charlotte Flair, and she's like, "You're gonna leave WrestleMania the same way you go home after you wrestle, and that's alone."
Loan.
And then she proceeds to see, what are you now? 0-3?
I like what
And
Charlotte Flair said to her when she got
oh
up.
yeah, and like she was like a childish response too, because like Tiffany Stratton, because they have to edit it because it was like a real stab. And then she's like, "That's why Kaiser's in my DMs." And then Kaiser posts a video saying, what did he say? It was like, I don't think so, sweetheart. How about no? And what a great response by Kaiser to he posted a clip and just in a response to that, and it was honestly, it was great.
He's like, no, I wasn't in your DMs.
Yeah, and I mean, it was so funny. It was like Charlotte was like a 10-year-old kid trying to respond to when they got verbally busted, and then she gives the most basic response. So man, I love this matchup. I know it's not the main event, but it'll definitely be up the card, and I am ready for it. So we have a number one contenders match for the tag team on SmackDown. Motor City Machine Guns defeat DIY, and honestly, just a good old fashioned tag team match. Wish we could have more straight up matches. and I lobby this all the time, but
Yep.
and like you can have good matches without the nonsense. But
Yeah.
so Naomi faces off against B-Fab, and really not much of a match. I mean, we kind of, you have B-Fab the upstart and you have Naomi the veteran, but in waiting in the wings is one Jade Cargill who I look forward to this match just because it is good old fashioned long term story booking at its finest. And, it lingered for months and months and months and months. And as soon as Jade Cargill came back at Elimination Chamber, we knew who the culprit was. And now Naomi she might have to use that caution tape after she gets her ass beat at WrestleMania by one Jade Cargill. So might want to get some chalk because this is going to be a good old fashioned slobber knocker, as they say.
Mhm.
Like this is not going to be a I want to pin you quick for a win situation. This is going to be another one of those matches that's like the pin or the submission is the least of the concern. It is going to be a good old fashioned slobber knocker. This is going to be tit for tat. Just and eventually they're going to have to end the match. But it ain't like Naomi would be counting the lights. Like I can say with almost certainty, Naomi ain't winning this. Like,
Oh hell no!
So we get Kevin Owens in his super crybaby self. I think we can all agree with his crybaby antics. And apparently,
He learns from
bowing
Drew
out of
McIntyre.
WrestleMania for having a neck injury.
Well,
Now,
you know,
I call BS.
If it's a legitimate neck injury, right? Legitimate neck injury. I wish him absolutely the best because neck injuries can end your career. We've seen it happen before. If it's a work and this is going to go for a very interesting story, yeah, let's see how it plays out. So it can go either way, but giving someone, that time. We've also seen WWE do that before where it's like, oh, I'm gonna retire or I've got a career-ending injury, and then they turn around and they destroy like the baby face, right? So it's kind of like one of those things of like we gotta wait and see what happens with Kevin Owens. I really don't know, but yeah, I mean,
I like the little reaction you had with the fan walking up. I seen the video.
I didn't
from a
see
fan.
that. I didn't see that.
There's a video of a fan out the I'll have to send it because I have it in my YouTube area. A fan, somebody from this crowd got the recording of their conversation. He was pretty much saying something to Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens walked up to him and goes, "Why don't you say that to my fucking face?"
Yeah, there's been a lot of fan situations where they say something to wrestlers, and I feel like you can only take it so much before you really get genuinely irritated with these fans. And I like in the heat of the moment, I get it. You're out there, but like do have some kind of decorum because they are still people at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like it's fine to banter when it's okay, I guess you could say, like, but don't be a dick. Like
Yeah.
I mean, I really think that, fans, when you're there, you have to understand, like, you don't like the character, and that's what they're portraying as a character. And to be absolutely disrespectful like that is uncalled for and ridiculous. So
I sent the clip in the
yeah, I've seen it. So we get a last man standing match between Jacob Fatu and Braun Strowman, and this thing did not disappoint.
No.
I don't know how much like these two. They could have a last man standing tournament for all I care.
Mhm.
But these two dudes can just go ham, and it is entertaining every freaking time. But obviously Jacob Fatu comes up on top of this match, and honestly, by really only a couple 2-second counts. But yeah, no, I feel like these are just some of these feuds that like you could like. There's doesn't even have to be a purpose for it other than just not a lot of bread, but meat. And so like just a good ass match, dude. Like, I mean, they're in the crowd, they're in the ring, they're wherever they want to be. And I love it. I think that sometimes you got to let the big boys cook.
Yeah.
And this is one of those situations. Now we get to the end of the show, which is where a lot of controversy, a lot of drama happened. You have Roman Reigns come out, do the promos Roman Reigns does, acknowledge me, all that. Seth Rollins comes out, they start beefing. And in typical fashion, when you say someone else's name, they tend
They
to come
appear.
out.
Mhm.
Say the name and they appear. But and so we get we get this whole debacle. And I love the fact that Seth Rollins is literally just chilling. Cause like he's what what I would call as the third wheel in this match. And because he's just kind of there and he's just kind of taking it all in. Cause like him and Roman have beef and they've had beef for a decade and they've never really done much with it. But now, because of the wise man situation and the favor that we found out what it was, and I was with Roman, I was laughing. like like so the favor turns out to be Paul Heyman, the tribal chief's wise man, will be in CM Punk's corner at WrestleMania. Now, the problem with that scenario and how they did it, there's 3 people in the match. So there's not really a corner. Like this match without that favor would have looked the same.
You know what? I disagree with that. I've been sitting here thinking
Ooh.
about that, and I think it takes Roman Reigns off of his game, out of his comfort zone, and they kind of told the story of Roman Reigns, what they wanted to do to Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns now has like a lot against him going into this match. He doesn't have his wise man. He's been faced with disloyal people again. Um, he's got to deal with Seth Rollins being this antagonizing presence in his entire career. And then he's got to deal with CM Punk, who's being portrayed as this entitled vet, um, who he's got to overcome. So one, I think I'm going to jump on the Roman Reigns because I want to see the character development throughout this. How does Roman Reigns face, the fact that he won't have his wise man in his corner, which had him win so many title defenses? How is he going to deal with, Seth Rollins, just being this annoying opportunist, and then you have CM Punk, and how he is actually have to deal with that. I did not like the finish to that segment, but I understand why they did it. It makes Roman Reigns kind of a heel and making CM Punk look like the baby face in it. But I don't see CM Punk being the baby face at all. Um, and definitely not Seth Rollins. So it's very layered, and people's loyalty can go in for any person, but I kind of empathize with Roman Reigns, basically, who has a difficult time dealing with the reality of adversity when it's just him. When it's
Right.
the wise man, he can say like, "Hey, wise man, what should I do?" And do
Right.
that. So it takes away some of his confidence, and now we get to
Yeah.
see Roman Reigns, you know,
Well, and I
by
think
himself.
and it's more about the story than it is like the actual what's going on. Just because he's had the wise man with him for the better part of the last 4 or 5 years, and so it is definitely a comfort zone thing that like he's not going to be in the match and he can't ask Paul Heyman anything like and so I feel like there's going to be a lot of twists in this whole thing. I feel like there's more layers than have been exposed at this point.
Mhm.
And so essentially the match card right now as it stands for WrestleMania, you have Undisputed Championship, Cody Rhodes, John Cena, Triple Threat, Roman, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins, Gunther and Jay for the World Heavyweight, Io Sky and Bianca Belair as of now for the World Championship match. And then you have Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair. You have AJ Styles, Logan Paul, and maybe I think Randy's going to debunk Kevin Owens' crap, and we're still going to have this match. We could have, again, a multi-man match for, the ICs or United States. We'll see. But what I want to get to though, and this is the thing I think everybody is bothered about. I mean, from what I've literally been reading and listening to for the probably the last 2 months, when I kind of look up all the rumor roundups and stuff like that, is that winning the Royal Rumble does not get you a main event, and it gets you a championship match, but they need to advertise it as such. You get a championship match at WrestleMania. Drop the main event thing because we haven't been getting the Royal Rumble winners in the main event. And that's the whole draw of Royal Rumble. They need to figure out to reword it, readdress it, like redo the whole thing because it's getting annoying when you don't have the Royal Rumble winners main eventing each show.
Yep.
And in truth be told, and this is from people I've talked to literally last night about it, and it made a lot of sense, is that I'm sorry, but Gunther and Jay is not a main event. It's not. It really isn't. If you look at the rest of the possibilities of how they have it laid out, comparable to the matches that they have in place for the main event, Jay and Gunther is second to last. I will give him that much. Second to last. And I think that night one, the second to last, will be, Gunther and Jay. And I think night two, the second to last, will be Tiffany. And I think they will give them at least the second to last match, however they do it, flop it around,
I don't
but
think I don't think Tiffany and Charlotte should close the show.
no. That's what I'm saying is that like the Royal Rumble winners, those matches don't match up to the rest of the card that could be. So I don't know how. I mean, like they definitely can't push them. They have to be the second to last match, like however they spin it, because if you're advertising them, winning the Royal Rumble and you're putting them at the beginning of the show or the middle of the show, like it just seems unbecoming of the fact that you say winning the Royal Rumble gets you a main event spot. Right? I mean, if they're advertising it as such, but they're not even doing it, it's you should just say you have a championship match at WrestleMania, drop the whole main event thing. Because sometimes stories are more important than those
I
matches.
I think it's okay to say main event at WrestleMania because you can have more than one main event match at WrestleMania or at any combat sports, you know, PLE or
I
pay-per-view.
mean, you can, but like when it's kind of this big, this is the PLE of the year. This is the show of shows.
But
It's
with that being said,
if it was second to last, you could call it a co-main event, and that would be acceptable.
Because I
But
think it's gonna be their match is gonna be before like Gunter and Jay's match is gonna be for either or it's gonna be before Roman's match. Most likely it's gonna probably be before Roman's. Because I know Cena and Cody's gonna probably be on night 2, and Jay and Gunter's gonna probably be on night 1.
yeah, and
I
it's
I do think what would probably make people feel better, and possibly you included, Seth, is that if they were to use co-main event as opposed to saying main event, because a lot of people say when they're talking about the main event for something, they're talking about the
final
match that closes the show.
Well, and
Yeah,
if even if they dropped if they just said, "Hey, you get a championship match," and if it works out that your story is the bee's knees, and you do get to main event, then that's fine. It's just you can't present it in such a way that they have for the 20 odd years they've been doing Royal Rumble, well, probably 30, 40 years. And so like it's always been presented a certain way and they've gotten that match in that way. And but like recently the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, it's been getting advertised, but like they're not the actual main event. It's more of a wording thing for me. Like if you're going to word it like that, at least have some validity to it. But if but again, sometimes those stories are secondary to what else is going on. I mean, it's no different than when the Ulafala was more important than Cody, and so Cody got dropped down the card a little bit because sorry, but he didn't matter at the time as much as something else. And I think some of it is basically how much the crowd and the fans are invested in certain matchups is kind of the determination of how important they are on the match card. Because we get those matches every Raw and SmackDown, that are built throughout the night or whatever. They're like, oh, they have this little confrontation, like, I'll see you in the ring, like because you always see about maybe like two matches, maybe three that are advertised for the show, but then you get like two additional ones, that happen throughout the night. So, but I mean, I I really hope that Triple H, does a deep dive into that, just so we can get some clarity moving forward to what that means because I've watched probably 5 or 6 different YouTubers that have said the same thing that are confused about that wording of it because it used to mean something and now it really doesn't. You have a match at WrestleMania and that's cool, because being on the match card of WrestleMania is an accomplishment in and of itself. And I honestly I think I'm with Seth Rollins that when he said the main event of WrestleMania is sacred. And I think even Tim can agree with that. The fact that, yeah, like it's nice that CM Punk is getting a main event, but like he really didn't earn it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's nothing against CM Punk. It's just the fact that everybody else has to earn their main event spot at WrestleMania.
It pretty much took It's more like an insult to Jay for winning the Royal Rumble. Now, yes, he's going to be going for a championship, but it's not going to be a main event. And it just pretty much takes a talent like him away from a main event chance at WrestleMania. It's just pointless. I bet his
Yeah.
dad's probably like furious about it.
Yeah, it's just when you get over trumped and look past. I mean, and especially like the match in and of itself is kind of but the amount of fan draw that Jey Uso has, like you're going to be seeing 60,000, 70,000 at WrestleMania yeeting in unison.
Heat.
And so like I think from the fans' perspective, he's a draw. And he's popular and he's worked hard to get to that popularity. It's just getting over trumped and getting pushed aside, but I digress. I mean,
It's probably just because of Roman and CM Punk and stuff. They're like a bigger names.
Yeah,
than
and I
Jay.
think and it's at this point it just seems like it's best for business.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and
Pretty
it's
much.
because that's more of a draw than the alternative, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys
I-
got anything else? I mean, like
Yeah, I
I
think
mean, I
you're-
know
No, I
think
pretty
you're right.
much said what I had to say.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
I mean,
Some-
I just it's
But we don't actually know the match order yet. We just know what's on the card. We don't know what the match order is. And we're just assuming that
I mean, I honestly
they're gonna
think
close out the show.
They'll
One of
leak.
them.
They'll leak out the card order the way it's
Yeah.
supposed to be.
I mean, but
Probably leading into it.
well, problem is we don't even have a full match card. Like that's the issue. Is like in years past we've been able to stockpile in advance our matches, and it seems just like this year I think, and I can agree with a lot of the YouTubers and stuff. It's like they've really missed the I don't know how to put it, but they just missed the point at this of it being the show of shows, and we shouldn't be 2 weeks away and only have half a match card. Like
Agree.
I could understand having 2/3 of the card and let's say have 9 or 10 matches, and then you slowly develop a couple extra good filler matches like ladder matches or or fatal four ways or triple threats, and that's fine. But like they've just really dropped the ball. I mean, ticket prices are weak. Like you can get a good 2-day ticket pass for like $500. And I know $500 is a lot. We paid a hell of a lot less for Texas, but like
Oh, I
but,
know.
like,
I looked at the ticket prices for
it's
the
they've
WrestleMania. It's cheap.
plummeted. They've plummeted. And I think it's literally the fans being like, I'm not about this WrestleMania. And it sucks, but like that's creative's fault. Like there ain't no one else to blame. Creative controls the stories, and fans could get invested in a story, but the creative switch things up.
Oh,
So
yeah,
really,
they do these great stories, and then when it gets so great with the fans, they just say, "Fuck it, let's turn it, let's do it this way," and
Yeah.
pisses the fans off. Fans want to change the channel.
And we still have so many looming like unknowns. Not even just the match card. I mean, we still don't know what The Rock's involvement is. We still don't know what Travis Scott's involvement is. We don't know if we're
Travis
getting
Scott
any.
just needs to stick with music.
I agree. Very much so. Stay in your lane, please. But
Bad Bunny's a lot better.
oh, but yeah, well, dude. I mean, dude, his entrance was insane.
Oh yeah, in Puerto
Like,
Rico. Oh,
but that was a big moment for like that country, like just immense, meaningful in that particular setting. It's just we are literally 2 weeks away. I mean, 13 days. Like, even if you fast track some ideas into matches, people are going to still be like, eh. I think,
You know,
I honestly, we're going to be
I
having some black tarp at WrestleMania.
Oh,
I think
definitely.
I think they already have the card and they're just slowly letting it out because dirt sheets in, rumor mills. They want to keep it exciting. They don't want everything to be like public knowledge.
But the thing is, but they can present it on TV though. Like it doesn't matter about how if they write it down or release it. And I get the dirt sheet, that angle. But at the same time, we don't even have the matches to even pontificate. Like we don't know what they're doing with the IC because we've been having these singles. We don't know what they're doing in the United States. We've been having these single matches. Like we don't have a like a battle royal and the last 4 go to WrestleMania or something, or like we don't have any build and we have no
Nothing.
story. We have no story they're building on. Like they could have the match already set. Yes, they could, but we haven't had a proof of them building to that match. Like we haven't had 8 matches or something, over the course of the last month that you get your place in the ladder match at WrestleMania for the IC or the United States Championship. Like that's what I'm getting at is there's been no build to that match. So, but I digress.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm disappointed.
Ain't we all?
Yep.
But
Yep.
It is WWE.
We'll put a pin in this. I mean, I don't know what else to really cover. I really hope in the next, 2 weeks, preferably this week, we get some more solidification of matches because you don't want to all of a sudden have a match added to the card the night before WrestleMania. You don't want to
Yeah.
have the match added the Monday before WrestleMania. So this week they best get their shit together and get us a match card. I don't care how they do it. I just want that shit on paper. I want pen to hit paper, and I want those matches known. So at the very least, we have like 8 matches right now. So that means that we need 5 to 6 matches more, which isn't that much of a stretch. So let's get the ball rolling and give us something. So,
Yep.
but this is the Locked On Podcast. Peace.